Hi lovelies, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all well. Today's practice, I've got a yoga for back pain sequence for you. This was requested over on my Instagram about a couple of weeks ago now. So yes, I'm now delivering that class to you. But I just want to chat about it a little bit before we go into the sequence. And just to remind you that back pain, we all probably experience it at some point in our lives, but that pain you experience is really relevant to you and your experience. So that pain you have, it might be a result of stress or tension. Perhaps you slept awkwardly, which is often the case for me, or perhaps you've got a little bit of tightness elsewhere in the body, like your hamstrings, your core, your shoulders, or your neck, and that therefore affects the movement of your spine. Or it might be something structurally in your spine that again is affecting its movement. That could be things like sciatica, for example. So just to say, if that is you, maybe just have a little check with your GP, your doctor, just to make sure you are safe to practice and make sure you are listening to your body as well. So if something's really not feeling right and it potentially is causing more harm than good, feel free to scale it back, skip a couple of postures, adjust the postures to suit you, because I'm not there to like physically guide you into the postures. Listening to your body is absolutely paramount. So you have authorship over your own body and your own practice, okay? So I just wanted to make that really clear so we're all practicing safely for the next 30 minutes or so, we'll see. So let's get straight on into it. And you're actually going to start lying down flat on your backs on your mat. And you're going to bring the knees in towards the chest. Okay. So gently coming on down, knees in towards the chest. If you can't comfortably take hold of the kneecaps, the shins, maybe the back of the thighs, you can use a strap, either a yoga strap or a belt of a dressing gown, just to help you draw those knees in a little bit closer. But if you've got the hands comfortably on your knees, just let those shoulders rest down and away. So the spine is just allowed to decompress into your mats here. You can have a little sway from side to side if that feels good for you. But we're gradually going to connect to our breath and connect that breath to our movement. So we're working a little bit with Apanasana. So as you inhale, you're going to push the knees slightly away from you, creating space for the belly to rise as the lungs inflate. And as you exhale, simply squeeze and hug the knees back in towards the chest. So you're really forcing all of that air out. And again, inhale, push the knees away, create space for belly rise, lungs inflate. Exhale, squeeze and pull the knees in. Lovely. We'll just keep that going at your own pace, in your own time, following your own breath. And just notice how this feels for you. Always making sure we're feeling good, making any little adjustments that we need to, making sure the back of the head, the shoulder blades are supported here by your mat. Okay, and keeping that going a couple more times. Let's go once more. Inhale, knees away. And exhale, drawing the knees in. Okay, coming back to neutral. You're going to keep your right knee in towards the chest. And you're going to send left leg away from you. Probably best to keep that left knee bent and bring the sole of the foot down towards the mat. Only if it's comfortable for you, you can send that left leg straight. But as you send that left leg straight, if you find it can't lie comfortably, or you find you have kind of an overarch in your spine and that lower spine really lifts away from that, maybe again, bring back that bend and secure the foot down towards the mat. So we're going to work a little bit with half Apanasana. So again, we're kind of inhaling, sending that knee away. Exhale, pulling right knee in. And you can stay with this kind of familiar movement, or you might want to break free of it a little bit. You might think about taking this right knee into some circles, thinking about creating some space in your hip sockets. And if the hips are quite tight here, that is going to have a little bit of an effect on your spine. Everything in the body is all connected. So sometimes when we experience pain or discomfort in one part of the body, it's because of tightness elsewhere. Okay. Maybe that's the case for you, but maybe not. We're just taking a moment to ease into the body. See if we can bring in a little bit more life, a little bit more energy using your breath. And if you're taking these knee circles, just send the knee in the opposite direction. Okay. One more nice big circle. Lovely, and draw right knee back in towards the chest. Now from here, you're going to go cross right ankle over that left knee. So you're not crossing at the knees here, you're crossing right ankle over the knee. And see if you can send that right knee further away from you. You can stay here, this might be enough for you. Or you might want to think about bringing that left knee back in towards the chest. Threading the arms through, so your left hand is going to come to the outside of the left leg. The right hand is going to go through into this little triangle shape you've created in between the legs here. And seeing if we can take hold of the back of the left thigh. If this happens and you find the back of the head and the shoulder blades lift off, again, use a strap, use a belt, so that again, the back of the head and the shoulder blades are supported here. Okay, so you're thinking about drawing the left knee in, sending right knee out towards the side. So if you do have, or if you do suffer from sciatica, this is a great stretch for you, but it might be a little bit too intense, so do feel free to scale it back if it's too much. It's quite a deep stretch. It's really working our piriformis down the IT band. The piriformis literally connects to your lower spine. So if you struggle with lower back pain, this is going to be good for you. Okay. Just taking a couple more breaths here. Let's have one more breath. Okay, and then gently letting go of that left thigh, left foot comes back down towards the mat. You're going to bring the arms either out into a cactus shape or maybe out into a T shape, depending on how much space you have. Keep sending right knee further away from you. Big breath in. Then as you exhale, you're taking a little twist and you're sending right foot down towards the left-hand side and maybe just tapping those toes down towards the ground. And then as you inhale, come back through center. It's a gentle twist, so don't feel as though you have to go all the way down here. If that foot doesn't quite make the ground, do not worry, just go as far as you want to go. And then use your inhale to pull you back through center. A couple more times, just this. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale, let's go again, final time. Lovely, inhale, back up through center. You're going to uncross the right leg, bring right foot now down towards the mat. Changing over, left knee comes in towards the chest. So again, you can hold on to the kneecap, the shin, the back of the thigh, whichever is preferable to you. You can lengthen that right leg only if that feels comfortable for your body and the spine is still supported. Come back to that half Apanasana, inhale, sending the knee away. Exhale, squeezing the knee in towards the chest. One more time, just this. And then you can stay with that familiar pattern, or you might take the knee in some nice big circles here. Your choice. So again, creating space in the left hip socket now. And you might notice one side feels maybe a little bit more restricted than the other. Perhaps there's a little bit of imbalance in the body. And if that's the case, no worries. We're going to try and bring back that little bit of balance. Okay. And then we're going to change that direction of those circles. Lovely, well done. And still the rest of the body is just nice and soft, nice and supported by your mat. And let's take one more complete circle here. And then again, draw left knee all the way back in. Okay, from here, crossing left ankle over the right knee this time. So again, you're sending left knee away from you. Flexing into that left foot also, so you're protecting that left knee. Again, stay here. This might be enough for you. And if you stayed here on the other side, stay here again on this side. So again, bring back that balance. If you want to go a little bit further, again, squeezing right knee in towards the chest, using a strap, or you're going to bring right hand to the outside edge of the right thigh, left hand goes in between that triangle, and maybe you interlace the fingertips there. But again, make sure back of the head and shoulder blades are supported as best as we can. Okay. And we're just holding here for a few moments. So again, you can bring back a little sway from side to side. And keep focusing on drawing that right knee in, sending left knee away. Okay. Let's have 2 more slow and steady breaths in your own time. One more. Beautiful. Gently letting go of that right thigh. Bring right foot back down towards the mat. And again, finding that T shape or that cactus shape, depending on how much space you have. Inhale here. Exhale this time, gently letting left foot fall down towards the right hand side. Don't worry if it doesn't come all the way down towards the ground. Use your inhale to pull it back through center. And exhale, here we go. Inhale back up. And exhale down. Lovely. Inhale coming back up and just repeating that a couple more times. Final time. Lovely. Inhale, come back through center, uncross left leg, and maybe take one final moment to bring both knees in towards the chest. Curl yourselves up, maybe into that little ball again. Have that sway from side to side. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to take a nice and easy spinal twist. So again, cactus shape or T shape with the arms, aiming to keep the knees and the ankles stacked. Big inhale here. And as you exhale, gently allow both knees to fall towards the left hand side. So your right hip is going to lift away from the mat. You might notice right shoulder kind of comes up like away from the mat, a little bit like this. So as best as you can, sending your right shoulder blade back down and towards the mat and getting that nice opening across the heart here. If it's okay for your head and your neck, you can then also send your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees. So as the knees are pointing towards the left, we may turn the head to look towards the right. But if that doesn't feel comfortable for your neck here, just lightly gaze up towards the ceiling. You can close the eyes if that helps. Okay. I'm going to take one lovely full round of breath here. And then exhale. Inhale, gently come all the way back up through center. Use your core to pull those knees back in towards the chest. Exhale, gently let the knees drift down towards the right hand side. And again, just aiming to keep those knees and ankles stacked on top of one another. So as the knees are pointing towards the right hand side this time, maybe we send the gaze to look towards the left as best as we can, keeping the left shoulder blade down. Don't worry if it has lifted up a little bit. We don't want it to just be all the way up here. Again, opening across the heart and letting that left shoulder be comfortable. Okay. Lovely full round of breath. Exhale. Lovely inhale again. Come all the way back up through center. Use your core, knees in towards the chest, and bring your spine back down towards the mat. Now from here, your choice, you're going to roll to whichever side you prefer, and then use your hands to help you gently push the body all the way up. Take as long as you need. Try not to move the body too abruptly here. And then you're going to transition onto all fours. You're going to make your way onto your hands and onto your knees. So you've got those wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, spreading the fingertips nice and wide, actively pressing the ground away. We're going to move through a little bit of cat and cow, but we might be minimizing the movement here. So as you inhale, lifting up through the heart, lifting up through the chest, and depending on where you're experiencing this discomfort or this pain in your spine, you may decide to keep the tailbone neutral. So usually in cat and cow, we'd lift up through the heart, lift up through the chest, and lift the tailbone, creating this little bit of an arch. But this might add to that tension. So you might keep the tailbone neutral, keep the lower spine neutral, and just have that little lift up through the heart, lift up through the chest. And then as you exhale, same again, you can keep the tailbone where it is, just thinking about tucking the chin down towards the chest and having that little round in your upper back here. So again, pressing the ground away through the hands. See if you can separate shoulder blades left to right. And just repeating that a couple more times. So if you are quite comfortable in your cat and cow, do feel free to move through the full range of the movement here, moving with your breath. Or you might just be taking it nice and easy, taking your time. Lovely. And as always, using the breath to guide you through here. So your inhale is going to be that initiation for you to lift it through the heart, lift it through the chest. And that exhale is that initiation to find that little curve, that little round in the spine. Let's go twice more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, curve. One more time. Inhale to lift. And exhale, curve. Lovely. From here, you're going to send your hips all the way back towards your heels, taking a little child's pose. So it's up to you. You can keep the knees parallel to one another. You may want to separate the knees out slightly, creating space for the belly to rest in between the thighs. But as you come into this, and again, you feel like you're getting too much of an arch in your lower spine, bring the knees back underneath you. Encourage for the forehead to be supported here. So if the forehead can't comfortably come down towards the mat, you can stack one fist on top of the other, use that as a platform for the forehead to rest on, or you can use a couple of blocks, a couple of cushions, whatever you have to hand. And we're just going to take a brief moment here. Child's pose is our lovely resting pose, and you can take this whenever you need it. And I don't just mean that within your yoga practice, you can literally take it whenever you need during the day. If you need that little bit of grounding, a moment just to connect back to your breath, child's pose is always there. Okay, let's take 2 more breaths here. Maybe 1 more breath. Beautiful. As you inhale, gently lifting the forehead either away from the mat or away from the hands. Stretch the arms forwards, look forwards towards your fingertips. You're gently going to lift up through your tabletop. Nice and easy here. You're going to hug the elbows in towards the body as you shift the hips down. So you're trying to lower the body in one nice solid piece. Chest down at the same time as the hips. You're coming all the way down onto your bellies here. Now there's lots of options for this next part. So you're either going to take a Sphinx, a Cobra, maybe a Seal pose. So let's work with Sphinx first of all. So you're going to bring those elbows underneath the shoulders. And you can check the distance here by tapping each arm. Make sure the elbows aren't too wide or too narrow. And encouraging the forearms to be parallel to one another. Spreading the fingertips down in towards the ground. Separating the legs slightly so you allow the heels to fall in, toes point out, and that's again going to help you releasing the lower spine ever so slightly. And I just want you to think about lifting it through your heart, lifting it through the chest, shoulders away from the ears here. And this is our Sphinx pose. So you're pressing ever so lightly down through your pubic bone into the mat. And there might be a little activation in your glutes here. Lovely, well done. So by activating in our glutes, we are again further protecting your spine. Sometimes you might hear yoga teachers say release in the glutes, so you're not involving any unnecessary tension. And it depends on kind of what you're going for. I always like to have a little activation in the glutes. So again, I'm really protecting my spine. Okay, let's take a full round of breath here. Exhale. Now you can stay here in your Sphinx pose. This might be enough for you and your spine. Or you might start to press down through the fingertips and lift the elbows away from the mat, coming into your Seal pose. And you can also send the fingertips out a little bit wider as well. So again, you're lifting it through the heart a little bit higher. and coming a little bit deeper into that lower spine. So as you start to lift here and you feel like, nope, too much for me, come straight on down, okay? So if you're in your seal pose, have another full round of breath here. Exhale. Now, some of you may want to go a little bit further. You're going to walk the hands closer towards you, but you're going to bend in those elbows. So you're going to sink the chest down slightly, bend in the elbows. So the hands kind of come underneath your shoulders. Again, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Lift up through the chest. And keep those elbows soft. So you don't want to be lengthening out the arms and locking out in the elbows. Keep the elbows soft. Don't worry about how high you are today. You might be somewhere up here, you might be a little bit more down here. This is perhaps better if we are really struggling with our spines today. So do know you can come back down and take a modified option. So wherever you are in your Sphinx, your seal pose, or your cobra, take one final breath here. Exhale. Lovely. Okay, wherever you are, you're going to press down through the palms and you're going to lift the chest, lift the hips away from the mat, send your hips again back towards your heels, come back into that child's pose. Okay, lovely, well done. Take a lovely full round of breath here. And a lovely exhale. Inhale, lifting the forehead, lifting the chest ever so slightly. You're going to take a little reach towards the left-hand side. So you're going to take left hand off the mat. Maybe right hand reaches towards that top left corner, or maybe that comes off the mat also here. And again, just allowing the body to fold forwards. If you do need a little bit more support for your forehead, again, use a block or a cushion, or use left fist to support the forehead, and you're going to reach away through the right fingertips. Think about pressing right shoulder blade down towards the mat and finding that stretch that kind of originates all the way from the outside of your right hip, all the way on the right side, lower spine, mid back, upper back, past your right shoulder, all the way up the arm to the pinky finger of that right hand. Take a lovely full round of breath here. And exhale. Inhale, lift the forehead, lift the chest. Stretch that left hand away if it wasn't already. Walk the hands through center. And we're literally going to take the same thing over to the right. So again, right hand comes off the mat. Left hand maybe reaching to that top right corner, or maybe that comes off the mat also. And then folding the body down, maybe using right hand as a platform for the forehead to rest on. Reaching away through the left fingertips. See if you can feel that stretch all the way up from the outside of your left hip to the pinky finger of that left hand. And again, full round of breath. Exhale. Beautiful. Lifting forehead, lifting chest. Reach right hand back away. Bring the hands back through center. Let's have one more final round of breath in our child's pose. Big inhale here. Exhale. And then as you inhale, lift the body back up to your tabletop. Take your time as you go. Walk the knees a little bit closer towards you. And then gently going to bring the sit bones down towards the mat. You're going to make your way into a comfortable seated position. So what I mean by comfortable seated position is any way you feel comfortable. So it might be cross-legged, but I know cross-legged is quite uncomfortable actually for quite a few people. So you can adjust this posture by sitting on top a couple of cushions, perhaps helping the knees, but propping the knees up with some cushions as well. And you might find yourself leaning up against a wall just to make sure the spine is nice and tall, but without us being too tense by holding the body upright. Make sure you can sit comfortably. You can also extend the legs out in front if that feels better for you. Okay, so wherever you are in your comfortable sitting position, just sit up nice and tall for me, but have a little softness in the shoulders. So you can give the shoulders a little shake. And we're just going to rest the palms of the hands on the knees. Take a lovely full round of breath. Exhale. Have one more inhale here. Now as you exhale, drop your right ear down towards your right shoulder. Lovely. And feel that gentle stretch through the left side of the neck here. Big breath in. And as you exhale, let the chin drift down towards your chest. Lovely. Pause here for a moment. And as you inhale, you come across the other side, left ear down towards the left shoulder. Beautiful. And again, as you exhale, chin comes back down towards the chest. Now we're going to repeat that from side to side. So literally letting the head drift from side to side, following your breath. So as you inhale, you lift. As you exhale, you lower. And this is a real mindful movement. So you can take this nice and slow and just being aware of any tightness that might be in your neck here. And if you do come across places where it feels a little bit tighter, maybe pause there for a moment and maybe play with the angle of your chin. So maybe you lift the chin up towards the sky slightly and then send it back down towards your shoulder and just see if you can ease into that stretch a little bit more and ease out any tension, any tightness. But again, really being mindful. Letting the head hang heavy as we bring the chin back down towards the chest. Lovely, well done. And making sure it's the ear coming down to the shoulder rather than the shoulder lifting up towards the ear. The shoulders remain nice and soft. And exhale down, chin to chest. Let's go once more on both sides. Inhale over to the right. Exhale down. And inhale over to the left. Lovely, exhale down. Inhale, lifting the head up through center. Grow tall here. Little lift up through the heart. And then as you exhale, you're simply going to start to melt the heart forwards. You're going to fold over the legs. So it doesn't matter whether you've got the legs crossed or the legs out in front. Little fold forwards and bring the arms just slightly in front of you. Okay, you can keep the elbow soft. Don't worry about how far you're coming into the fold. It does not matter here. Just feeling that little release for your lower spine. You can actually have a little bit of a curve in the spine here. So you might again release to the back of the neck. You might involve a little sway in the torso from side to side. Lovely. Okay, take a lovely full round of breath. Exhale. As you inhale, lift up through the heart, lift up through the chest ever so slightly, creating a little bit of space. Then you're going to walk the hands round towards the left-hand side. So similar to what we did in child's pose, you're going to find that diagonal stretch. And then again, you're going to fold over. So you might even be able to bring your forehead down towards your left knee here. But again, do not worry. Don't try to then focus on really bringing the forehead down towards the knee. Soften into the stretch. Remember, we're not focusing on kind of pulling or straining the body in any way. We're really just allowing the body to float through these poses with softness. Okay. So here in this diagonal stretch, you can probably feel that lovely stretch for your lower spine a little bit more on the right-hand side. So it's a little bit of a twist in the body here. And we're going to come a little bit further into this twist. So have a full round of breath. Exhale. As you inhale, start to walk the hands towards you, rise back up, but you're staying twisted over this left leg. Right hand is going to come towards your left knee. Left hand goes all the way back behind you. Press that left hand into the ground, so using it as a kickstand to keep the chest nice and lifted. So we think about inhale, growing tall towards the sky. Then as you exhale, twisting round towards the left. Beautiful. Okay, keeping the shoulders soft here as best as you can, just here for another full round of breath. And exhale. Lovely. Inhale, start to bring the torso back through center, but keep that right hand where it is on your left knee. So the torso comes back to face the front. And with this right hand on the left knee, you're going to take a little tilt over towards this right hand side, so taking a little side bend, and you might use this left hand just to support your left side of the rib cage or maybe left side of your lower spine. If it's okay for you, you might sweep the left arm up and over. So as you come into the stretch, if this feels a little bit too much, bring that left hand straight back down, okay? Working with softness, remember, and we're just holding here for a full round of breath. Exhale. And then gently floating left hand down towards the right knee. So you've got the arms crossed, and it might feel a little bit strange at first. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to tuck the chin down towards the chest, using the grip on your knees slightly to kind of pull the shoulder blades apart. So separating the shoulder blades left to right and feeling that stretch in your upper back now. Lovely. So there's a little curve in the spine. You might find yourself rocking slightly back off your sit bones. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale to slowly unravel. You're going to take the hands away from the knees, and it's like you're taking off a jumper now. So the arms stay crossed as you reach the arms up towards the sky. Taking off that jumper as the arms straighten up, separate. And then exhale, floating the arms all the way down. So you take that nice big stretch as you go. Take another inhale here, lift up through the heart. And as you exhale again, we melt forwards. So we're just going to repeat all of that on the other side. And you might find as you come into this seated forward fold that maybe there's a little bit more space for you. Maybe the body can soften just that little bit more. Okay, full round of breath here. Exhale. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the chest. Walking the hands round to the right hand side this time. Beautiful. So you're folding over the right knee, and again finding that juicy stretch for the left hand side of your lower spine. And again, maybe that forehead comes to the knee, maybe it doesn't, does not matter here. Big breath. Exhale. Inhale, we slowly start to rise. Walk the hands towards you. This time, left hand comes towards your right knee. You're still twisting towards that right hand side. Right hand comes to the ground behind you. Use it as that kickstand to grow tall. Crown of the head towards the sky. And exhale, twist. And that twist is originating from your hips and working its way all the way up. So as you think about winding the body up, it's almost like coming up a spiral staircase. So starting the twist from your hips, it then works its way up your lower spine, mid back, and then upper back and your shoulders. Maybe we twist a little bit more. Full round of breath. And exhale. Lovely. Inhale, bring the torso back through center. Left hand stays where it is. Right hand maybe supports the right side of your lower spine, and you have that little tilt over towards the left. You might already feel that stretch there. If you want a little bit more, inhale, reach your right hand up and over. Lengthen out through that right arm as best as you can. So really sending energy out through those fingertips. Beautiful. And again, if it's too much, come on back down. Big breath in. Big breath out. And gently float the right hand down towards your left knee. So again, you've got the arms crossed, but the opposite arm is now on top. Take a big breath in, little lift up through the heart. Exhale, tuck the chin down towards the chest, curve through the spine. Find that stretch in between your shoulder blades. Beautiful. I love this stretch. Okay. Another breath in. Another breath out. Inhale, uncurling through the spine, rising back up, hands away from the knees, taking off that jumper. Big stretch. It's like the first stretch you take in the morning. Unravel the arms, grow tall. And exhale, hands come down and away. Lovely, well done. Okay, we're nearly there. A few more stretches before we come to the end. You're going to stretch your right leg away for me. This left leg can literally remain where it is. So you're keeping this kind of relatively open position in the legs. Keep this right leg a little bit active. So you're going to think ever so slightly about peeling those toes towards the face. So the toes point up towards the sky and that right knee points up towards the sky. Just making sure we're not curling in here or falling out towards the side. Now, you may want a couple of props. If you haven't got any, do not worry. I'm going to give you lots of options here. So either blocks, cushions, books, whatever you've got to hand. Bringing your right hand to your blocks, and these blocks can either be on the inside or the outside of the leg. Totally up to you. Right hand to your blocks. Left hand is going to support your lower spine. Think about inhale, growing tall. And as you exhale, you're going to start to lean your right shoulder down towards your right leg, keeping this left shoulder back. Now, as you soften into this right elbow, you might find the right forearm can simply rest onto your blocks here. Okay? Pause here for a moment. Again, make sure we're rolling that left shoulder back. You may find you can go a little bit further, similar to what we did in our seated side bends. You may stretch left arm up and over. But again, might not be good for you today. Make sure we're always finding what feels good. So if it doesn't feel good, come back to here. You may find you can go a little bit deeper. So maybe you take one block or one book away and come down a level. You might take both away and come down a little bit more. Modify the poses to suit you and your body. So it's not about how far you come into the posture, it's more about how the posture feels, okay? Lovely. Keep rolling that left shoulder back. Maybe thinking about spinning the torso to look up towards the sky ever so slightly. Lovely. Take another full round of breath. Take another exhale. Inhale, we gently make our way out of the posture. Just going to have a little push down through your props here. Rise on up. Lovely, well done. Okay, gently transition across to the other side. So you're going to fold right knee in and change it over with the left leg. So sending left leg out towards side, and then that right shin just gently fold in front of you here. Okay, so trying to again mimic what you did on the other side on this side as well. So again, bringing back the little bit of balance. Left hand to your blocks. Again, make sure left leg is fairly active, toes pointing towards the sky, so as if you're kicking that left heel away. Okay, left hand to your blocks. Roll that right shoulder back. Right hand to your right side of your lower spine, first of all. And then as you exhale, soften through left elbow, tilting down, so left shoulder is almost coming down towards your left leg. So you might find forearm again meets the block here. You might come down a level. Again, you might want to take that lovely big stretch by reaching right arm up and over. If you find that as you bring right arm up and over, you've got a little bend in this elbow and this right arm is kind of hanging heavy here, or this wrist is hanging heavy, again, extend out through those fingertips, and that's really going to add to the stretch there. So only go to here if it feels good for you. Okay, full round of breath. And exhale. Let's have another breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, gently start to rise, push down through the blocks. Come back to center. Beautiful, well done. Okay, if you're using any props, just place them over to one side so they are out the way. And again, we're going to make our way down onto our backs. So take it nice and easy as you go. So we're nearly at the end of our practice here. So as you come down onto your backs, again, bring the knees in towards the chest and just notice how the spine feels now. Allow it to kind of decompress along your mat. Again, there might be a little sway from side to side. Okay. And for the final pose of our practice today, again, there's a couple of options. And we're really focusing on bringing lower spine down towards the mat. So you're either going to bring the knees in towards the chest, tightly as you can. Make sure the body is soft. And you can take knee circles with both knees. You can either send them in the same direction as one another, or you can send them in opposite directions, entirely your choice, depending on how you feel. Or you're going to think about separating the knees ever so slightly, so the knees are coming to the outside edges of your torso. Arms come on the inside, and you might take hold of the ankles or the shins here. This might be enough for you, okay? You can stay here. Or you might think about sending the soles of the feet towards the sky. Again, you can hold onto the ankles or the shins, or you can grip onto clothing if that helps. Or you might take hold of the outside edges of both feet, coming into your happy baby pose. So this is quite an intense pose for some of us. So again, work your way through those options, come down a level if you prefer. We're not going to stay here for too long, maybe about 5 breaths or so. Don't feel as though once you're there, you have to be stuck and you have to be still. You can bring a little movement in, a little sway from side to side. Beautiful. And keep focusing on your breath. Keep that slow and steady breath. Nice big inhales in through the nose. As you exhale, sighing out through the mouth. Lovely. Let's keep that going. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful, well done. Gently making your way out of the posture. So you're going to let go of the feet, of the shins. Bring the knees to a close. Again, maybe there's a little sway from side to side. And then you're gently going to bring the soles of the feet down towards the mat. Let the arms kind of release down by your side. You might bring them a little bit further out should you wish. But for the final few moments before we come into our Shavasana, just take a little swing of the knees from side to side. So again, it involves a little twist in the spine, but we're also easing out any tension that may be in the hips. So just lightly blading the knees from one side to the other, keeping it soft. We don't need to move too quickly here. And then when you're ready for our Shavasana, we're going to take a constructive rest. So you're going to have the knees perhaps about mat distance apart, and you're going to allow the knees to knock together. And again, arms are down by your sides, either palms slightly pressing down and towards the mat, or you might feel more comfortable with the backs of the hands into the ground, and the fingertips are just naturally curling in. Alternatively, if you want to get that little opening across the heart, you might have the arms above your head, so the forearms and the elbows can rest along the mat, and you might take hold of opposite elbows here. So just choose where you want to be. Depending on where you are feeling that discomfort in the spine is going to depend where you place yourself in your Shavasana. So again, have a little play, make any little adjustment, and then when you are comfortable, allow ourselves to rest for a few moments. So closing off the eyes, closing off the outside world. Welcoming in a little bit of stillness here. And just simply notice how you feel. How does your mind feel? How does the body feel? Perhaps we can notice any subtle changes compared to how you felt before your practice today, especially if you were really struggling with your spine. Maybe we feel like there's more space there. But as we take a few moments just to rest and observe ourselves on our mats, just remember we're not looking at ourselves with any judgment, and we're not trying to change anything about ourselves here. Just allowing ourselves the time and space to simply breathe and be, knowing that you are enough as you are. Know that you can spend as long as you need here. So even as I start to bring us out of our rest, know that you can stay here for as long as you need. Take comfort in the fact that there's nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to do apart from simply be here in this moment. But before we finish, we're going to take some lovely deep breaths here all together. And so taking that nice big inhale in through the nose, filling up the lungs entirely. Exhale, release with a sigh. And again, inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. And before we even open our eyes here, just start to visualize the space around you. Visualize the space that you are in. Imagining the four walls around you, any objects or furniture in the room. Notice where you are in the room, and if you're practicing with someone else, where are they in relation to you? Just creating an image in your mind of your safe space where you chose to practice today. And then we're going to start to bring in a little bit of movement into the body, wiggling the fingertips, wiggling the toes, rotating the wrists, rotating the ankles maybe. You might again sway the knees from side to side and roll the head from side to side. Any movement that kind of calls to you in this moment, feel free to just gently bring it in now. And then finally, if it feels good for you, taking a nice big stretch along your mat, so stretching the arms up and above behind the head. You might even go as far to stretch the legs out in front, stretching the toes out in front of you, and allow the body to grow. Enjoy that nice big stretch. And then exhale. Gently floating the arms back down. And again, taking your time, feel free to stay here in this moment should you wish. But if you're ready to go, again, gently rolling onto one side, whichever you choose. Using your hands to help you. And again, the eyes are still closed here. We're still in that mindful space. But just gently bring yourselves again to that comfortable seated position. See if we can sit up nice and tall. Use a wall behind you if you wish. Bring the palms of the hands towards the knees. And as always, we're going to seal our practice together with our blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. With that, we bring the palms of the hands together in front of the heart. And we bow. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that's left your spines feeling good and a little bit more flexible maybe. So yes, if you did enjoy it, feel free to give me a little like, a little comment, maybe even subscribe so you don't miss out on any future flows, and I'll be back next week with another one. See you then. Mwah.